Hey, I'm just doing some dinner prep, but I wanted to combine it with a conversation with you because something was on my mind, and I thought if I don't share it or talk about it, I'm going to forget. Solidly into menopause, so that absolutely can happen if anybody can relate to that. But I was thinking about uh, introvert versus extrovert. Now, I am an introvert. What are you? Okay. So, and how long have you known that about yourself? Because I feel like those categories have only really become popular or well known like in the last, I don't know, several years, 5 years. And I think it's a valuable thing to know about yourself. Now, I know that I'm an introvert. That doesn't mean that I am shy. It doesn't mean that I have lack social skills. It just means that the circumstances in which I find balance and restore my battery is just alone time. A solitary alone time where I have my own thoughts and that recharges me. Now that doesn't mean I don't love my friends and family. I really do. You can hear my ice maker filling if you hear that. But one of the things I've noted as an introvert, recent empty nester, semi-retired, is that I can start becoming too isolated. Like, I think I want to just do my routine. I find so much comfort in my solitary routine, taking care of the house and the dog and various family needs. And, I love a quiet routine. I just love that. But the more I do it, the harder it is to engage socially. And recently, we had quite a few events, graduation season and everything. A few graduation parties, a wedding, like there was just a kind of a flurry of activities, and I was not looking forward to it. Like I was sort of dreading it, which is unusual because I loved all the people that were going to be there and who we were celebrating. But once I went to a couple of them, I kind of got my stride again. Do you ever do that where you're dreading going someplace and then once you go, you come back and you're like, whoa, I'm a better person for having done that? Well, that's how I'm feeling. So now I'm kind of thinking, in the empty nest years, in the semi-retired years, I'm going to have to rethink kind of my social life a little bit and maybe be more intentional so that the introversion doesn't start taking up more and more ground. Not that being an introvert is bad, but I need a better balance with that. Whereas when I was working and the kids were in and out all day, bringing friends and, all that stuff, and interacting with parents and going to track meets, and, there was just built-in social time that kept me sort of socially activated a little bit. And now that's not there. And I think I have to be intentional. Like I said, I have to be intentional about that. I would love your input. Are you extrovert? Are you introvert? Now, I do have an extrovert or two friends, one in particular I'm thinking about. She absolutely loves to be around people 100% of the time. That is how her battery charges. And we've talked about it quite a few times. Like, she would love to stay socially active and invested in one activity after the other, day after day. And that is living her best life. And that would just be exhausting. It would be exhausting to me. So tell me, are you an extrovert? Are you an introvert? Do you own it? Or do you feel embarrassed by it? I think extroverts are applauded more in our world. Introversion is a little bit, people kind of don't want to admit that as much because I think there's misunderstandings around it. But tell me what you are. And then in retirement, in empty nest time, if you're an introvert, how have you found balance with that? How have you found balance not to get too hermity and, avoiding people, and then it gets harder and harder to get out? But on the opposite side, an extrovert, how do you engage in a frequent enough social interaction so that you are feeling fulfilled and your battery's charged? I guess a whole new way of looking at it at this phase of our life, because we're not forced to have those social interactions, or the opportunities, I should say. But anyway, it was on my mind, and I'm doing some dinner prep just for my husband and me, which is really, really simple. Although I've also had an adaptation to all of that too. Such a big word. I didn't mean to use that big of a word. Like getting used to, that's what I really mean, getting used to making smaller quantities of food. Like my husband's like, what are we feeding, an army? It's just him and me, because I'm used to, 3 kids around, especially the last one. She was so social, is so social. And she was constantly having big groups of friends just pop in, you know? So I was always making a ton of food just in case, and usually it got eaten up. And now it's been an adjustment to make the right quantity, honestly. And, but it's kind of been a joy too, because we can eat a little bit differently. Have you noticed that too? You can eat a little bit differently when it's just, you know, me and my husband. We can literally set out chips, salsa, and guacamole and be completely fine for dinner. I know, like, that's not healthy every night, but you know what I mean. Cheese crackers and meat tray, charcuterie thing. Like, we can be completely fulfilled, where that would have never happened when everybody was at home. They need a solid meal. But anyway, I'm making a small salad for my husband and I, and we're going to grill, which I love doing. But I was thinking about the introversion extroversion thing, and that's going to be another thing I have to let my mind mull over, and how I'm going to manage that in the healthiest, most balanced way for me now that I'm in this new phase of life. And I wanted to throw it out there because I know there's wisdom out there, people who are steps ahead of me or have a greater understanding of all of this and could share with me and everybody else in this community what they've learned about all of that and how they've managed it during this phase of life. So, you know, comment, explain where you're at. I will read all of it. I'm just so curious about things, and I love hearing other people's stories. All right, I'm going to finish up the salad, but thank you so much for joining me, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon.